은퇴는 아메리카 드림의 마지막 편입니다. 그러나 황금기의 꿈은 빠르게 변하고 있습니다.
Retiring in America today is not easy. It is a very tall mountain to climb.
오늘날 미국인의 3분의 1 이상이 은퇴할 준비가 되어 있지 않거나 확신이 없다고 생각합니다. 그리고 노인의 3분의 1은 70세까지 일할 계획이거나 평생 은퇴하지 않을 것이라고 말했습니다.
I'm not wanting to be rich. I just like to have enough to where I could be comfortable.
2022년 상반기 동안 팬데믹, 러시아 전쟁, 금리 인상, 경기 침체에 대한 두려움으로 시장에 큰 혼란을 가져와서 은퇴구좌액 중 약 3조 4천억 달러의 손실을 보았습니다.
The United States is definitely facing a retirement crisis. If we don't do anything about it, years down the line, you're going to wind up with a lot more seniors in poverty, reliance on public services.
또 다른 사람들은 미국의 은퇴 위기는 허구라고 말합니다.
The U.S. retirement system is stronger than it's ever been. Retirement incomes have never been higher. Retirement savings have never been higher. Participation in retirement plans has never been higher. All the things we would like our retirement system to be doing, it is doing.
미국은 과연 은퇴 위기에 직면해 있는 걸까요? 그렇다면 그것을 멈출 수 있을까요?
My name is Juanita Dykes. I live in Rural Retreat, Virginia. I've been retired for 6 years now. I've had a number of jobs. I've worked in factories all my life. Unfortunately, I didn't listen to people to tell me that I needed to save for retirement. I thought, I would get paid by the government. You'll have enough to live on. Wrong, you don't. I get $1,574 from Social Security. I get $631 from my pension. You pay all your bills, car payment, all your utilities, all your insurance, all that together. It just don't add up.
미국인들은 은퇴를 위해 충분하게 저축하지 않습니다.
I don't have no savings. I'm probably in the red at the bank before you write a check and then you don't have nothing to cover it. Then when you get your next check, all that extra money comes out.
은퇴를 앞두고 있는 미국인의 평균 은퇴 계좌 액수는 2022년도에 89,716불이었습니다. 이는 은퇴 후 15년 동안 월 500불 미만을 쓸 수 있다는 것을 의미합니다.
Baby boomers, they were well into their mid-40s before 401ks came along and they had the opportunity to save. When they entered the workforce, the assumption was Social Security and traditional pensions. Now that they're reaching retirement, the ground rules have changed and the expectations are that they would have saved more along the way.
The last place I worked was just like a factory job, and you got paid, that's it, no extra nothing. We didn't have paid holidays, you didn't have vacation, you didn't have nothing, you just worked.
The other problem is that during times of economic crisis, there's a lot of leakage out of retirement savings plans. Whereas things like pensions and Social Security, they're a lockbox. You don't touch that money no matter what. That is there for your future. IRAs and 401ks often tend to get tapped when people run into unemployment or health issues, medical expenses.
In our own research of retirees, we see that they're doing pretty well. However, they're not financially in a position to absorb a major financial shock. And a big example of that is the high cost of long-term care services and supports. If they have some sort of cataclysmic health crisis or need that long-term care, they just don't have the financial resources to be able to afford it.
65세 이상 미국인의 5명 중 1명은 의료비로 월 2,000불 이상을 지출했다고 말했습니다. 별도의 연구에 따르면 65세 이상 미국인들의 3분의 1 이상이 향후 12개월 이내에 의료 서비스를 받을 수 없을 것이라고 걱정하고 있습니다.
If you go to a regular doctor, that's covered. But if you go to a specialist, that's like $30. I have an appointment this week with a specialist. I don't have the money to go, so I'll have to call and cancel that and redo it some other time.
기대 수명이 길수록 퇴직자가 모아둔 은퇴 자금보다 더 많은 비용이 들 수 있습니다. 세계 경제 포럼의 분석에 따르면 남성은 모아둔 은퇴 자금보다 약 8.3년 더 오래 사는 반면 여성은 10.9년 더 오래 산다고 합니다. 젊은 세대는 사정이 더 좋지 않습니다. 미국에서 은퇴 전 성인의 약 25%는 은퇴 저축이 전혀 없습니다.
A lot of people don't have access, or at least don't have consistent access to an employer-sponsored retirement plan. And we know from the behavioral science research that people don't walk into a bank and say, I want to open up an IRA.
청년 근로자의 평균 저축률은 10.5%인 반면 25세 미만의 평균 저축률은 8%로 둘 다 저축률 권고량인 15%에 크게 못 미쳤습니다.
And as we look at the changing landscape, especially millennials and Gen Z, they're entering the workforce with student loans, with debt that is unprecedented from earlier generations. Another issue impacting younger generations is they're going to change jobs many times over the course of their careers, as well as spend time in self-employment. So they're going to have to take a much more hands-on, do-it-yourself approach in managing their savings and investments and ensuring that they're saving enough to last their lifetime when they retire.
I have considered going back to work, but I had a knee replacement 2 years ago, and the other one's trying to tell me it's about time for it. So I can't stand very long at a time. I won't say that I won't have to, because I might, if they don't get this Social Security straightened out to where we can have enough to live on.
2022년도에 연방사회보장국은 의회가 개입하지 않으면 적립금이 2034년까지 고갈되어서 사회보장 혜택이 위협받을 것이라고 추정했습니다.
Because of demographic changes during sort of the 70s and 80s, Social Security built up a large surplus and is now in the process of depleting that surplus.
고갈이 되면 퇴직자는 그때부터 혜택의 78%만 받게 됩니다.
It's not obviously the end of the world, and it doesn't mean Social Security is bankrupt at all. But it does mean a meaningful reduction in benefits that's really going to hurt people, especially at the bottom and even the middle.
인플레이션은 퇴직에 가장 큰 지장을 주는 요인입니다. 미국인의 4분의 1은 소비 비용 상승으로 은퇴를 연기할 것으로 예상합니다.
The worker is now the one that bears the longevity risk and the market risk in retirement.
Market downturns are really the most problematic for people who are about to retire, because that represents a real loss to them, right? As opposed to something that they can recover from over time.
인플레이션을 감안하면 2년 전 은퇴 계좌의 100만 불은 오늘 가치로 약 12만 불 정도 감소했습니다.
If you're retired and on a fixed income, inflation really hurts. And we've come out of decades of historically low inflation to all of a sudden, a pretty substantial inflation, especially in the things that matter to people, which is, food and fuel.
I'm like anybody else. I like a good steak every now and then. Well, that's just plumb out of the question, because you can't afford to buy that. You just have to buy what you merely have to have, and then hope that you have enough left to pay your bills.
Inflation is higher than we've seen in a long time right now. We don't really know whether this is we're now in an era of high inflation or higher inflation, or whether it is a longer tail from effects of the pandemic.
계속되는 은퇴 위기는 소비를 줄이고 자원을 고갈시켜 전체적으로 경기를 나쁘게 합니다.
In terms of people who wind up falling into economic hardship during retirement, that is something that a lot of states have taken very seriously. And they're really concerned about, more and more seniors needing things like food stamps, subsidized housing, right, which is already in very low supply, and also Medicaid.
A hidden impact that doesn't get as much discussion is the impact on families. When an aging parent doesn't have the resources to care for themselves, or maybe they can't afford long-term care, they turn to their adult children. As adult children step in to support them, this detracts from their own ability to save for retirement. So this could create a generational vicious cycle unless we solve for it.
그러나 일부에서는 미국의 은퇴 위기는 과장되었다고 주장합니다.
The U.S. retirement system is strong. The income of the median retiree, the typical retiree in the United States, is at record levels. It's never been higher. Poverty in old age has never been lower. The median U.S. retiree has the highest disposable income in the world, according to the OECD. 40% higher than Germany, 50% higher than the Netherlands. US retirees in surveys are much more likely than European retirees to say they can maintain their pre-retirement standard of living. So all the things we want people to do are going in the right direction.
2021년도에 퇴직자 10명 중 8명 가까이가 은퇴 기간 동안 편안하게 살 수 있는 충분한 돈이 있다고 확신했고 근로자 10명 중 7명 이상이 이러한 정서에 동의했습니다.
Nobody really has the incentive to tell the truth about the successes of the US retirement system.
퇴직자 5명 중 4명은 퇴직 후 라이프 스타일이 예상했던 것 이상이라고 말했습니다.
I think everyone agrees there are certain people who are falling behind in their retirement savings. That's true today. It was true in the past. And the question is, what do we do about it? The danger of claiming we have a retirement crisis is that we throw the baby out with the bathwater. We throw out the things that are working for us, and we don't address the problems that really exist.
I think a lot of it is semantics almost. Most researchers do understand that there is a substantial portion of the population that are going to be financially insecure in retirement. There's some debate about whether that's, high 30s, 50s, 60%, but that's not a small portion of the population.
정부 정책은 미국의 은퇴 상태를 개선하는 데 중추적인 역할을 할 것입니다.
Retirement policy is one of the few things in this country that has a long and exemplary history of collaboration among both parties. What we need from a public policy perspective is a broader collaboration among industry, among employers, the great minds, academics, nonprofits, and everyday people to step back and take an even broader look at our retirement system and address the issues that are the greatest detractors of retirement security right now.
이러한 우려에 대한 답으로 2022년 강력한 퇴직 보장법이 의회에서 통과되었습니다. 이 법안에는 직원들이 참여하지 않겠다고 선택하지 않는 한 자동으로 은퇴 플랜에 등록하는 등 더 많은 미국인들이 은퇴 저축하는 데 도움이 될 수 있는 혜택들이 많이 포함되어 있습니다. 그러나 어디까지 커버해 주는지에 대해선 여전히 더 많은 관심이 필요합니다. 민간 부분의 18세에서 64세 직원 중 거의 절반 정도가 퇴직을 위한 저축 옵션을 제공받지 못하고 있으며 회사 직원 규모가 소규모인 회사 직원들의 약 65%는 은퇴 플랜이 아예 없습니다.
Improving retirement plan coverage, meaning ensuring that all workers have the ability to save for retirement in the workplace, is paramount to increasing retirement security in the U.S. We need to have a retirement system that is fully inclusive so that people have the opportunity to save, invest, and grow their savings over their lifetime.
은퇴 보장은 궁극적으로 미래의 은퇴자들의 손에 달려 있습니다.
Tip number one, avoid getting overwhelmed. Getting overwhelmed can lead to procrastination and it can lead to inaction, which is counterproductive. Another is create a retirement strategy. Even have some fun with it. Envision what you would like your life to be like in the near future, or if you're younger, far away into the future. And then put some numbers by it. Start building a plan. Seek help if you need it. There are financial professionals available to help you with that. You have to engage. You have to learn as much as possible. So it's up to you to know enough to ask good questions and make informed decisions. It's your retirement.
You need to save. I know when you're young, you think, I don't need to save. I'll do that next time. We'll do this whenever. Do it now, because I'm telling you, you need to. If you plan on living any length of time, you need the extra money.